Hello and welcome from me, Dawie, here on this Right Trade channel. This is an outflow from our group on X, where we have a subscription group where we give targets on shares and indices to our subscribers about or coming from the Dawie setup. Now it is about this Dawie setup that this first video is all about, and I just want to give you quickly some little bit more information about it because I've been asked a lot of questions over the years. Um, and yeah, it is something that comes from my involvement with technical analysis since January 1998. And when I was on holiday in early 2015, I sat in a holiday home one day and was looking on my laptop, looking at charts I've saved over the years. And there was a chart, I think, from about 2006 to 2007 or 8. And all of a sudden, something popped out of the chart, and I saw something for the very first time. And I thought by myself, what on earth if this is true all the time? And I was so shocked that I actually never spoke to somebody for even for months or years. That was 2015, and I only started writing about it in 2018 when I wasn't working full time anymore. Um, so yeah, I want to quickly give you a few pointers about what the Dawie setup is and does, and then also quickly in this video, just an example or two of what the Dawie setup can do and has done in the past. Here on top, you can see the link to the website where you can go and read 153 articles that have been published there since 2018. Most of the articles, of course, are articles with targets, making predictions for a specific price on specific shares or indices. And then, yeah, of course, in between there are articles when some of those targets were reached. Some of them, of course, are still outstanding, uh, especially those on the monthly chart, which is a really long-term chart. And you can, in my experience, often you have to wait quite a number of years in certain instances for targets to be reached. Okay, quickly a couple of points there. The Dawie setup can give you targets in both directions from where the current price is. In other words, it can up or down, doesn't matter. It can tell you when the price is here, it will reach a price there below or up there above. So in both instances, it is not somebody or many people have asked me that. Yeah, but your prices are always down. I will talk about that later. It works in association with one specific technical indicator I have to use to help me to determine the specific target price. We cannot, thirdly, expect, according to my research, to be given at any time a specific time for how long it will be take. It will take for a target to be reached, a target coming from a setup, and for that we have to look at the time frames. Usually, it is very rare to find a setup just on one time frame. Usually, there will be if you take one share or one index, there will be setups in in the same direction on several time frames. Then I call it a cluster of setups, and usually this strengthens the case of that target being reached immensely. Yeah, and also I can oftentimes can I if I provided that I watch the chart regularly, I can identify a setup before the move away from the target is completed. Let's take an example. Say if the price is moving down, down, down all along for quite some time, then often the target, the setup pops up, but the price have not yet uh, reached its conclusion to the bottom, and you must always stay nimble and wait till you're sure that the price has turned around. and then he's heading up to the target. Uh, One can always also never expect that the target will move in a straight line that the price will move in a straight line to the target. Yeah, on very short term charts, I have seen during daytime when I watch maybe a 5 or a 15 minute, you can all of a sudden see a target uh, pop up through a setup, and then it might be, but small targets, maybe 60, 80, or 100 points, then you might see several red or green uh, candles in a row as the price makes a beeline to that target. But that will be always be on the smaller and bigger. Longer time frames, one can expect the price to move gradually, but with ups and downs in between. Also, in my experience, in most cases, targets get exceeded and often by quite a bit. Yeah, because I have not invented this thing. I cannot invent or manufacture any target on a chart. If it isn't there, it simply isn't there. I have to go and look and see if there are any targets. In my experience over the last couple of years, I've seen that because I think a major bull market is coming to an end now, we're sitting with many, many targets on indices and shares charts from all over the world, and some of them they are just real horror stories. Now, I want to quickly show you some examples, and I would like to start with Cecil. This story comes from late 2018. Uh, you can see a vertical yellow line there just before the top. That was when I had the last contact with a very big and well-known uh, investing company. I wrote them an email and I said to them, "Listen, I've discovered something, and I want to warn you about a certain share of which I see and know that you have plenty in your three biggest funds." That share, of course, was Cecil, and they wrote me back that they have an in-house approach. They believe that they have all the people in their company that knows everything they need to know, so they won't take any input from anybody outside the company. At the time, they were sitting according to that last quarterly report ending the 28th of September. They were sitting with 24.1 million Sasol shares at a closing price on that date of 547 Rand 53. Now, if we follow the map then all the way to the right, we see that it slided, then got a bit better again, and then the big slide started. And we know that in one evening in early 2020, the price closed just about on 21 Rand. Uh, Incidentally, that is a good example also of what the point I made previously about the this target being exceeded, because the price I had in mind to warn them about the target was 252 Rand. That's just short of a 300 Rand drop from the price we started with. But yeah, that 252 Rand target was exceeded by quite a bit, almost double the distance down just to a simple and a small 21 Rand. Then up again to over 400, and this weekend we're sitting on just below 130. We see on the first quarter report ended on 29th of March that at that time in the two biggest funds, they had 19.89 million shares of Sasol at the closing price of 146 Rand and 40 cents. And if we make that calculation, if they had never had less than 19.89 million shares, then the drop in their value on this one share was almost 8 billion Rand. So that is just an indication of what the Dawie setup could have prevented with one share for one company. Unfortunately, it is impossible for me to keep track of all quarterly reports, to keep track of all shares bought and sold over every quarter. So, but I believe these bigger companies, they buy the big shares and can often keep them for a long time. But this could have been avoided. And as I say, this is just one share. Just a last example about Anglo American. On the left top, you can see a tweet that I made a screenshot of, and that was on the 7th of May 2021. One of the big gurus, and I don't like to identify people, he made a bold prediction that day that Anglo American will trade above 1,000 rand. And it was about 2 weeks later that I placed an article on my blog about on the 25th of May about Anglo American. You will see just on the right of the tweet that vertical yellow line that I drew that line right on the date on which he made this prediction. That was the 7th of May. Incidentally, on that day, the price closed on 666 Rand flat. Yeah, then my prediction, my article came, and in the article, I spoke about this prediction. And I said, with respect to this 1,000 Rand price, I think let's rather think about 40% of that price. That is not to say that the price couldn't go or will in no instance go up or the other way. So that price could may just as well have reached 1,000 Rand. But the certain thing here is that the prediction that the Dawie setup made was reached, and we see that on the 13th of December 2023, the price closed under 400 Rand for the first time. Um, so yeah, these are the two examples. I want to thank you for watching. This is all for this first video. I want to invite you to keep on the lookout. We will place more videos here. The plan is for the next video will be of a market that is being talked about, being traded, I think, all over the world by millions and millions of people. There are several articles on my website, and the Dawie setup has made quite a few calls on this market, and they have all been reached on the moment the last couple of months. There are big moves on the go again, and until next time, we will talk about that one, and I wish you all of the very best.